everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you some projects that I created for a swap that I participated in with my new crafty friend Crystal Rose. She's just crafting over here on Instagram and YouTube. I'll link all her information in the description box below so you can go check her out and give her a follow. We agreed to do a mini binder and to exchange Halloween socks. And then of course we were free to add any extras that we wanted to. So this is the binder that I created for her. It's actually super chunky. I followed a tutorial by Scrap Diva 29, Erica here on YouTube. And I really like the way hers turned out, so I decided to give it a try. And once Crystal takes all the contents out of the envelopes, it'll be not as chunky and easier to see everything that I did. So I used a page protector and my fuse tool, and I fused all the way around, and I filled with a bunch of sequins and shaker bits from my stash. I used my snap tool and did a snap closure. And the teddy bear is from my Cricut using the Teddy Bear Parade cartridge. And I cut out a little witch, and I used my Copic markers to go around all the edges and shade her broom a little bit. I put glossy accents in her eyes and her nose. I used the MFT postage stamp die with some vellum, and then the MFT frame dies with some purple cardstock in the back. I took some jemmies behind her. These bats and this spider web is a Avery Owl stamp. I stamped them with black ink, and then I used my Brother Scan and Cut to cut them out. As well as this Skull and Crossbones is from the Cat's Pajamas stamp set, and it's actually a Pirates stamp set, but I like the Skull and Crossbone. It looks very Halloween-y. Tucked more jemmies in the back, and then this is a Recollections sticker. And so that is my cover. I love the way that it turned out. And this is a piece of Pebbles cardstock, and then the back. The back and the front are they're actually exactly the same. I just used a bunch of shaker bits from my stash and some of those diamond dots we all picked up from Joann's. On my ring bindings, I tied an organza bow and a dangle that I created using all the beads that I picked up from the Bead Factory. This tassel and this charm is also from the Bead Factory. I actually posted a haul video on that. And so the snap closure is super duper hard. I'm really sorry, Crystal, you kind of just have to use a little bit of force. But I used all envelopes for my contents. We decided to do 6 pages, so I did 6 envelopes. And all these envelopes are printouts from Serena B. So I just printed them out on white cardstock, used my Memory Keepers envelope punch board. I did some hole reinforcers on all the envelopes just to give it obviously the reinforcement, but a little pop of color. And then I did Velcro closures on all of them. So on the first envelope I created 2 sets of bows for her. This is a AliExpress die, and I used some glitter paper. I actually made this glitter paper by myself. I used my Xyron sticker maker and some black cardstock and some black glitter. And then I just ran it through my die cut machine. And I did a purple gemmy in the center. And then these are also an Avery Owl die. And then I used my button maker and I created some flares. And then this is also a digital that I picked up on Pinterest. So that's the first envelope. The second envelope, love these spider webs, are some rosettes that I created for her using my Tim Holtz rosette die and some purple cardstock. I used some patterned paper with a scallop punch. This is a very, very old Recollections stamp set that I've had in my stash for many years, as well as the spider web. And then the spiders are that spider confetti we all picked up from Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. I still have tons of it. And then I just used some orange jemmies for a pop of color. And then in my third envelope, I tucked in a sequence mix, and I apologize for the glare. It's pretty similar to the mix that I used in my covers. I just added a little pop of orange. I made her some wrapped beads that she can use, and then I also made her some flares using some cardstock in coordinating colors, and I love the way they all came out. And then the next envelope, I created some flowers for her, and these were done using my Lawn Fawn rolled rose die, and then some of that glitter paper that I created for the leaves. These skull beads I picked up at the Bead Factory, and then I made her some flowers using my Spellbinders flower die, and then those spider confettis with the little gemmy. Super cute for Halloween projects. And then in this envelope, I created some coffee cards, and these are using a honeybee die. And we decided to do 3 embellishments per page in my case envelope, so I created 3 of them for her. And the first one, I used a Recollections paper pad that I picked up at Michael's this year, the Recollections stamp and the spider, and then this is an a Lawn Fawn die and an Avriel stamp. And then the sleeve comes off, and then she can write a note to her recipient. I used some black, orange, and white twine from my stash. The next one is this one, same paper pad. This stamp set is the same as this ghost. It's just a skeleton. And I stamped all these out and used my brother's Scan and Cut. And then the third one looks like this. And I love, love, love this card from Honeybee Stamps. And I don't know why I don't use it that often. I need to pull it out more often. And then in my last envelope, I created some embellies. She can use these as bag toppers or just for a little punch up something Halloween. So I used some puffy stickers that we all picked up from Target, American Crafts. I used a Recollections, this is the same Recollections stamp set as this spider web. I used a tree, that's a glitter star. I used my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. This is an Avery Owl stamp and die. So I just cut it out of some Heidi Swap Halloween washi, but once you cut it, you can't really see it. And then I backed it with the banner from that Recollections paper pad. So I'll tuck those in and close out for her before I package it all up. I don't want to show you exactly everything that I got her because I want her to be surprised. But these are the socks that we agreed to swap. I put them in this little goodie bag that I've had in my stash for many, many years. I used some ribbon and some twine. I punched out a little tag. I believe this is a Tim Holtz tag. And then I used some washi tape, the spider web in the back. And then the spider is a ring that I picked up, I believe, the Dollar Tree. So I just cut the ring part off and hot glued it onto the tag, and I love the way that turned out. I picked up one of the little stuffies from the dollar spot at Target. I believe these are not $1, but I bought one for myself, and I thought they were so super cute. So when we agreed to do the swap, I went back and got her one so that she can decorate for Halloween. Love it. I made her one of those coffins that I posted on my Instagram. It's already in the bag packaged up, so I don't want to take it out 'cause I tied a bow on it. But I used the actual coffin box is a cut from my, it's a Cricut cartridge. It's called Happy Hauntings. And so I cut out the box with black cardstock, and on the inside are some treats for her. These clouds are a cat's pajamas border die, but I just cut it apart. The bats are a Tim Holtz die. I used a circle die from my stash. The tree is a CC Design tree, and I ran it through an embossing folder to give it that texture. In the back you can see I tucked in a couple layers of the Haunted Fence die from Lawn Fawn. I made some more rolled roses, tucked in a skull bead, and then that's a little plastic spider from Walmart. I created a little pillow box, and this is the Lawn Fawn Peek-a-Bat. And so I created the pillow box. I tucked in some trim for her, and then I just created a little tag. Did some orange and white twine, and these are double layered with vellum and white cardstock, and then a little stamp from a very old Recollection stamp set, black ink, and my brother's scan and cut. This is a little treat for her. I just packaged it up. I used the Michaels paper pad. I did a couple layers. This is a Sizzix die. And then I, folded up some paper, cut it in fishtail. This is a chipboard sticker from the Target that we've all picked up. The sprockets, and then the Avery Owl die again. This bag, I just did an Inkadinkadoo image that I stamped with black ink, and I used a stitched rectangle die on. Inside I tucked in a couple stickers and some die cuts for her to use. I created a clip witch hat, and this is a Stampin' Up! Bow punch. And I put a little gemmy in the center. I used more of that glitter cardstock that I made myself. So hope she likes that. I'm sharing some of those Target chipboard stickers. So I made her a little chip bag. This is from this stamp set. And then I used some thickers. I used an embossing folder in the back. And then this is another treat for her, and I just covered it with cardstock. I used a doily, Tim Holtz tag die. I did more of that folded up banner paper. I used one of those Target chipboard stickers, that Walmart spider, and another of the chipboard stickers. So this is a little treat for her. Hope she likes that. I also created a Lawn Fawn scalloped treat box for her, and I ran it through an embossing folder that has like this brick pattern on it. And then this is the Christmas add-on for this box. I used my Martha Stewart Spooky Fence punch. I created a window, backed it with vellum. I put a little holographic sticker of a pumpkin. Same on this side. And then I used another Recollections tree, an Avery Owl bat. The door opens and this ghostie's coming out. And then this is another Lawn Fawn tag that reads Trick or Treat. And another little pumpkin. This is filled with some trim for her as well. And then lastly, she lives, I believe, in New York, and she says that it was really hard for her to find the Dollar Tree boxes that we all use as embellishment boxes. So I decided to gift her one that I had in my stash. And so that she could reuse it, I just made a band around it. And so I used some orange cardstock from my stash. I used my Martha Stewart spiderweb punch on both sides. And then I used some Michaels. Is this Michaels? Yeah, I believe this was Michaels ribbon. I used 2 circle dies from my stash, and then the star pattern in the back is a Tim Holtz die. It was actually that I've had that die in my stash for over a year, and I finally took it out and used it for the first time. I love the way that it came out. The witch silhouette was cut from my Happy Hauntings cartridge for my Cricut. I used again my cat's pajama cloud border. And then the Tim Holtz bats. These are some Recollection stickers. They read Happy Haunting and, Happy Halloween and All Hallows Eve. I've had those in my stash from Recollections for a few years as well. And then I used some sprinkles, holographic stars that were gifted to me by my crafty friend Jeanette. And then on the box I created another little dangle just because I've become obsessed with beads and I just love the way these came out. So I just used all the beads from my stash. And then inside, when you pull the sleeve off, I just added some Halloween themed goodies. Color coordinated. I used some clothespins, some buttons, beads, some flat backs, and then I die cut some mini coffins and witch's hats, some wood veneers. I made her several little bows. These are teeny tiny bows. Some ghost confetti. I shared some of those plastic, or they're kind of rubbery spiders from Walmart. And then she has a couple of tassels, some more of those skull and crossbones, some pom-poms, and some buttons. So that's everything I created for Crystal Rose. I hope she likes it. Thank you so much for swapping with me. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good day.